How do we develop sustainable leadership? How do we develop that sustainable community, that as community needs change, how do we develop business entities, membership-based organizations, leaders to comprehend this concept of sustainable community or sustainable leadership?
The group or that team has to be part of developing what the vision is, and to buy into what the vision is, and what the plan is to get to that, whatever that end point, which keeps changing. I mean, it's a moving target, if you will.
Right.
That you don't ever, it's never stagnant. And so we did this, and so what's next? What's next? What's next?
So key leaders are always asking that.
Yeah.
What's next?
Yes.
What's next? What's next? What's next? Where does the value of investing in key leadership, investing in leadership training, investing in opportunities to get involved in these executive circles that you were talking about, where does that educational investment, experience investment, networking investment, where does that come into play here as these businesses have to be very careful that they don't become irrelevant?
One of the problems that I see organizations face, and there is a lot of discussion about, do you promote from within, so then someone is then supervising their former peers without giving them any education, any training to deal with whatever that next level is that they've
So basically,
gone
if
to.
you're good at the job
So-
you've been doing, you must be able to do whatever job I give you.
Yeah. Which is, and I
This seems
think
kind of crazy when you say it out loud, doesn't it?
But every organization that I've ever worked for has that. You've been there 10 years. Okay, it's time. You're going to be promoted. You're off the line.
You've outlived everybody else.
You must know all there is, and you must be able to and work with these folks to get what they need to get done. Which is,
You're kind of dumbfounded. I can tell by your expression that people even think that way.
Yes, but I see it every day. And there's the Peter Principle, rising to your level of incompetence.
Yes, absolutely.
And so it's not only not good for the organization, it's not good for that individual.
What happens when we push people past their level of capability? Because we have had, in many cases, and most recently seen a rather dramatic example of an executive who was promoted past her level of competency, and we saw some things that were really not complimentary to the individual, the region, the organization.
Right, and that's exactly what happens. Is large, high turnover rate, lack of respect within the community for whatever the business or the organization is that and it's and then whatever staff or employees that may be left in the organization are just so unhappy that nothing really gets done. Their hands are, hands get tied and they can't move forward. There's no progression. There's lack of respect, just kind of overall for what's being done.
In many of our conversations, we have recognized that the responsibility to place people in appropriate positions so that they can grow and be successful rests on the supervisor, leadership, or if it's a CEO or the point person in a company, it rests with the board of directors or whoever's been given the task of filling that role. So let's talk about board of directors for a minute and talk about some of the common things we see when dealing with businesses and boards of directors and when we're invited to come into a company and we see some of these things happen, typically we can see that there's been some sort of a breakdown in understanding the direction versus the implementation. Can you talk about the the difference between a board of directors giving direction and their responsibility to oversee implementation as well? Not doing the implementation, but overseeing the implementation.
Well, my thought is that the board is there for the idea generation, and if it is responsible for, and whoever the executive is for seeing that that it may be this wonderful idea. It has nothing to do with your vision or your mission or what the organization does,
Or should do.
or should be doing. But heavens, yes, keep bringing me those ideas and let's see if something's going to fall out now and then. But so does it but from a board person's standpoint, they probably are running another organization. So the board they sit on isn't their number one responsibility. Sometimes it's just by nature of being at whatever organization they're, whatever industry they're in, that they sit on that board, and they may not really have an interest in it. So I guess secondarily I'd say is that you need a board of people that want to be there.
So they have to be engaged and
Yes.
have some accountability to the mission that's been established.
Yeah.